Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to SAUNAIE. I'm your host, XO. Man, if this is your first time listening, welcome in. This right here is a space where we talk about mental health, personal growth, discipline, and the internal battles men face that nobody really wants to talk about. So what we do here, we talk about it. Because me overall, I know how it is in the mental health space. I've been in for over a decade now, and I'm grateful to be in this space to help the people that I've helped. And I've understood that men really talk about their mental health, and it's because of one of these factors that we're going to talk about today. And today's episode is something that, as men, we completely overlook, but the women that I've spoken to and some of the men too, they like, hey, emotional intelligence, I need you to speak on that. Speak on emotional intelligence, what it is and where it formed from. Because at the end of the day, it didn't come out of nowhere. And as men, we have to have emotional intelligence as we go throughout the world, because we use our emotional intelligence every day. Every single day, we're either talking to people, communicating with people, or even checking ourselves. And a lot of us were raised believing that being a strong man meant not showing emotions, not talking about what you're feeling, handling everything on our own, right? We were taught to push through, stay quiet, and keep working. And on the surface, that can make you look strong. But internally, it can make you disconnected. Disconnected from yourself, disconnected from your relationships, disconnected from your peace. And the truth is, the men who actually thrive in life long term, in relationships, business, leadership, and mental health, aren't just disciplined, they're emotionally intelligent. So today, we're going to break down what emotional intelligence actually is, why so many men struggle with it, and how low emotional intelligence quietly destroys relationships and mental health. And with the cherry on top, we're going to talk about how you can start building your emotional intelligence today, because the real power isn't just physical strength or financial success. That real power is having that self-awareness. So let's get into it. What is, let me slow down. What emotional intelligence, what is it? Where did it come from? When people hear the phrase emotional intelligence, they often assume it means being overly emotional or soft. But that's far from the truth, right? Emotional intelligence simply means understanding emotions, both yours and other people's, knowing how to manage them effectively. Psychologists often break down emotional intelligence in 5 areas. The first, of course, is self-awareness. Self-awareness means understanding what you're feeling and why you're feeling it. Most people operate on autopilot emotionally. They feel anger, frustration, stress, anxiety, but they never stop to ask, why do I feel this way? Self-aware people recognize their emotions before those emotions control their behavior. The second area will be emotional regulation. And this really is the ability to manage your reactions. It's the difference between reacting impulsively and responding intentionally. A man with emotional discipline can feel anger, disappointment, or stress without letting those emotions control his actions. I'll say that again for the people in the back. A man with emotional discipline can feel anger, disappointment, or stress without letting those emotions control his actions. Number 3, the third area is empathy. Empathy means being able to understand other people's emotional experiences, not necessarily agreeing with them, but recognizing their perspective. Empathy improves communication, leadership, and relationships. And the fourth area is social awareness. This means being able to read a room. I always like to say this, always be able to read a room whenever you walk into it. Understanding social dynamics, energy shifts, emotional cues from other people. And the fifth area is one of the biggest ones that we all deal with every day: relationship management. This is the ability to communicate effectively, resolve conflict, and maintain healthy connections. And when you combine all 5 skills together, you get emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success and well-being. So the reason emotional intelligence is rare among men isn't because men are incapable of it. It's because most men were never taught it. From a young age, boys are often told what? Stop crying, man up, handle it, don't be weak. So what do many boys learn at that time? They learn emotions are something to hide instead of understand. Instead of processing emotions, we suppress them. We all been through it. We probably still going through that. As you listen to this, you'll probably suppress your emotions moving forward. But it's understanding that it's a part of life. It's something that everybody does, and it's just learning how to have that emotional intelligence in the long run. And when we suppress those emotions, they don't disappear. They come out in ways, whether it's anger, stress, burnout, emotional detachment, isolation. A lot of men aren't emotionally unintelligent because they lack capacity. They simply never had the tools. Nobody showed them how to process emotions in a healthy way. So, the cost of low emotional intelligence. When emotional intelligence is like low, the consequences show up everywhere, whether that's relationships, leadership, communication, and of course, mental health. Men who struggle with emotional awareness often experience things like difficulty expressing how they feel, constant frustration or irritability, communication breakdowns in relationships, feeling misunderstood, feeling isolated, or feeling like they have to carry everything alone. And as a man, you know how it is, bro. We've been the times where we feel isolated, where we have felt misunderstood, our communication and relationships broke down because we didn't know how to express what we were feeling. Like it's like we knew what we felt, but we were never taught how to express what we felt to other people. And that kind of gets misconstrued and the communication breakdowns in relationships because you don't want to seem like a wimp or whatever it may be because you don't want to express yourself. A man might build a career, provide for his family, achieve goals, but internally still feel disconnected or overwhelmed because success doesn't automatically build emotional intelligence. That's a skill you have to develop intentionally. But the good news is the emotional intelligence can absolutely be developed. And it starts with those small daily habits. That first habit would be having those emotional check ins. Throughout the day, ask yourself a simple question: what am I actually feeling right now? Not what you're supposed to feel, not what you want to feel, but what are you honestly experiencing in this moment? And this right here builds self awareness. And the second habit is learning to pause before reacting. Strong emotional triggers, strong emotions trigger fast reactions, right? But emotionally intelligent people create space between the feeling and the response. Emotion happens first, reaction comes second, but that pause in the middle is where emotional intelligence lives. The third habit is naming your emotions. Psychological research shows that simply labeling emotions reduce stress and increases emotional regulation. Instead of saying, I'm just stressed, you might you might realize you're actually feeling frustrated, disappointed, overwhelmed, or exhausted. Naming emotions creates clarity. And the fourth habit is reflecting on emotional triggers. Instead of always asking, why did that person do that? Ask yourself, why did that situation trigger me the way it did? That right there, that self reflection, that builds that emotional maturity that you need. But at the end of the day, emotional intelligence isn't about being perfect. It's about being aware of your emotions, aware of your reactions, aware of how your energy affects the people around you. And when men develop emotional intelligence, they become better leaders, better partners, better fathers, better friends. And most importantly, they experience more peace internally because real success isn't just about external achievement, it's about mental wealth. And emotional intelligence is a huge part of building that wealth. If you enjoyed this, make sure you subscribe to the podcast so you don't miss out on our future conversations. And if these discussions are helping you grow, share this episode with someone who you think may need to hear it. Also, if you want to dive deeper with us when it comes to mental health, discipline, growth, as well as your purpose, make sure you join our community through our website, SAUNAIE.com. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. We building something big here. This is bigger than just like a podcast. It's a platform for men that's dealing with their emotion, dealing with their mental health, dealing with just life. As entrepreneurs, we go through a lot of emotions, a lot of things mentally, and this is just a space where we can just talk about it. So we building that community, and it still starts with you. If you know anybody that this can help, share the episode. Leave a review, even if they don't like the episode, even if you want to add your commentary to it. I greatly appreciate it. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Like, for real, without y'all, this would not be possible. And until next time, take care of your mind, people, and check on your people.